Hello, and welcome to another episode of How to Play by Cat House Gaming. Our goal in this series is to give you and your table mates the foundational game mechanics needed to get you playing in a short amount of time. I know you'd rather be gaming, so let's get started. Hey guys, today's game is Rajas of the Ganges. In Rajas of the Ganges, each player is Indian royalty tasked with improving their estates into wealthy provinces through the trading of silk, tea, and spices, as well as by building impressive structures to awe current and future generations. Rajas of the Ganges is a game for 2 to 4 players, combining several game mechanics including worker placement, tile laying, and dice rolling. It has an interesting endgame trigger and scoring mechanism. Endgame is triggered when a user's fame marker passes their money marker. The current stage, and not the round, is completed, which means that all players between the person who triggered endgame and the person with the start player marker get 1 additional turn. After that, players count the number of spaces between their fame and money markers. This is often a negative number. Place the game board in the middle of the table and ensure the appropriate side for the number of players is face up. The elephants at the bottom right of the board indicate if the board is the 2-player version or if it is the 3 and 4-player version. If you are playing with 3 players, place the 3-player tokens in the quarry and in the harbor. This is the only player count adjustment. Place the white yield tiles face down on the topmost building and shuffle them. The other yield tiles are not used in the basic game. Place the dice near the board in easy reach of the players. Creating 2 piles on either side of the board best ensures everyone can reach them as needed. Sort all of the province tiles, first by color and then by animal type. Shuffle the stacks and place them near the board. They should be organized in columns by color with the animals ascending from snake to bull to tiger. Once sorted, they should be flipped so that the animal side is down and the roads, markets, and buildings are visible. Each player selects a player color and takes all of the components of that color. They place their Kali statue in front of them as well as one of the province boards. Take a look at the perimeter of the province board and place it with the white yield tiles face up for the basic game. Place 3 of the meeples on the castle of the province board. Take 4 dice, 1 of each color, and roll them immediately. Place the dice as they have been rolled onto the hands of the Kali statue. The player who has the lowest dice roll is the start player and receives the elephant. The start player places their money token on the 3 space of the money track. The player to their left places theirs on 4. A 3rd player would start on 5 and a 4th player would start on 6. All players place their fame marker on the 0 space of the fame track, their boat on top of the boat in the river, and their cardboard disc riverside up on the 12th spot of the money track. They each place a meeple on the designated meeple spaces, which are located on the fame track at 15, the money track at 20, and along the river on the bridge. Lastly, each player places a cube under the 2 fame spot for each of the building types as well as on the karma track at the 1. Each round consists of the players taking a single action per player in a clockwise manner. The round ends once each player has used all of their available meeples. It is quite possible that one player will have more turns than the other players if they have retrieved 1 or more of their extra workers from the board. At the end of the round, the start player marker transfers to either the person who played on the Great Mogul or to the person to the left of the current start player. All players retrieve their active workers and gameplay resumes with the new start player. On their turn, the player will take 1 of their meeples and place it on the board, immediately paying the cost and performing the action of that space. Both the cost and the benefit are denoted near the space upon which the player places their meeple. The cost is either free, a specific amount of money, a die, or possibly both money and dice. It's useful to point out that at any point in their turn, players can adjust the value of their die by spending a karma. 1 karma allows the player to flip a die over, so a 1 would become a 6 and vice versa. Actions can be taken in 4 different areas of the board. The palace allows you to consult with trusted advisors for benefits or obtain additional dice for future turns. The quarry allows you to add province tiles to your province board. The marketplace, which allows you to earn income based on the markets on your province board. And the harbor, which allows you to advance along the river and receive special bonuses. In the palace, there are 6 advisors you can visit. Each requires dice of a specific value. The Great Mogul requires you to turn in a die with a single pip. You immediately earn 2 fame points, and he grants you the start player marker at the end of the round. Visiting the dancer requires you to turn in a die with 2 pips, and in return you receive 2 dice of your preferred color or colors. You also flip over one of the white yield tiles and take that benefit as well. Visiting the yogi requires a die of 3 pips, which increases your karma 2 spaces and grants you a die of your choice. Please note that the maximum karma level is 3. The Raja Man Singh requires a die with 4 pips, and in return you move your cube 1 column to the right on the building type of your choosing and receive 3 money. Visiting the Master Builder requires a die of 5 pips and allows you to build over an existing province tile on your province board once you pay the difference in the cost. It must be a tile of a higher value than the old tile. Lastly, players may visit the Portuguese, turning in a die with 6 pips, which allows you to move your boat exactly 6 unoccupied spaces along the river and receive the designated bonus of the space upon which you land. Within the palace, there are also terraces and balconies where you can turn in a die of a particular color, for example blue, and receive 2 dice of another color. If you turn in a blue, you'll get 2 orange. You can also get a free die of a specific color. Lastly, you can earn 2 money and re-roll as many of your current dice as you would like. Players can also visit the quarry. Players going to the quarry spend money and dice in order to build the province tiles of their choice. The amount of money varies from 1 to 4 and is indicated by the location of their meeple within the quarry. The dice to be turned in must match the color of the province tile selected, and the pip value must meet or exceed the cost of the tile. Province tiles are immediately placed on the player's province board. All tiles must originate from the residence at the top of the board. Roads are crucial for future tile placement. A tile that dead ends cannot be played off of in subsequent turns without being rebuilt by the master builder in the palace. When the tile is placed, the player immediately gains the benefits identified on the tile as well as any of the yield tiles the road connects to. The player receives money equal to the value of any markets on the tile. They receive fame based on the building pictured on the tile and their progress on the corresponding building's bonus track. For example, if the player is building a gold building and their cube is in the 3 fame column for gold buildings, they would move their fame marker 3 spaces. Additionally, if the road connects to a yield tile, they will also receive the bonus indicated on the board. When building atop existing province tiles via the master builder within the palace, the player must upgrade from a lower to a higher value tile and pay the difference in the pip values. When it is rebuilt, the yield tiles pictured on the board do not reactivate, but the player does receive the money and/or fame benefits pictured on the tile. A tile can only be rebuilt once. There are 5 spaces available in the marketplace. Each one allows players to activate the markets on their province board and earn additional money. The 3 spaces on the top row are for each of the 3 specific market types: tea, silk, and spices. Players going to these spaces turn in a die and activate the number of the designated marketplaces on their province board up to the number of pips on the die they turned in. The player receives money based on the value of the markets activated. If the player cannot activate all of their specific markets of that type, they get to choose which markets to activate. The 2 market spaces on the bottom row allow players to activate 1 market of each market type on their province board. There is no cost to perform this action, but the same player cannot visit both of these spaces. This is denoted by the 2 different shades of meeple pictured to the left of the selection spaces. If the player has multiple markets of a given type, the player selects which markets to activate. The blue player has decided to activate their silk markets. Their highest die is a value of 3. So they'll activate 3 of their 4 different silk markets. They get to choose which ones to activate, and in this case, they'll activate the 3 highest ones. So 3, 6, and then 9 money. The blue player has decided to visit the assorted goods marketplace. This allows them to activate the most valuable marketplaces of each good type on their province board. So in this case, 2 for tea, 3 for silk, and 2 for spices, giving them an income of 7 money this turn. A visit to the harbor allows players to move along the river. The cost varies from free to 2 money, as well as a die of 1, 2, or 3 pips. Players who turn in a die of 1 pip move a single unoccupied space along the river. A die with a value of 2 allows the player to move 1 or 2 spaces, and a die value of 3 allows the player to move 1, 2, or 3 spaces. Please note that there can never be more than one boat on a given river space with the exception of the first and last spots. Occupied spaces do not count when moving along the river. The player will immediately take the benefits offered by the river space their boat stops on. Please refer to page 19 of the rulebook for questions regarding the river symbols. As your fame and money markers travel along their respective tracks, there are bonuses available as certain points are passed. For example, along the fame track, you get to upgrade a building type at the 5 space and gain 2 karma at the 24 space. The money track alternates between granting players a single movement along the river and granting them 2 dice of their choice. Once passed by the money token, the cardboard disc currently placed on the 12 space will immediately move and be flipped to the 33 space. In a worker placement game, having more workers allows you to perform more actions. Everyone starts the game with 3 workers and has the opportunity to gain 2 additional workers. Workers are available once the fame marker passes the 15 space, the money marker passes the 20 space, or the boat passes the bridge. The workers are available immediately. Once a player has obtained 2 additional workers from the board, the third is removed from the game. Game end is triggered when a user's money and fame markers either meet, like so, or if they completely cross paths, like so. At which point, every player between the person whose markers pass gets 1 additional turn up until the start player marker, assuming they have the meeples in order to do so. Once that is completed, you count the number of fame markers between the money marker and the fame marker. So in this case, yellow has a score of 1, 2, 3 positive. Blue would have a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 negative. And green would have a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative. Therefore, yellow would win the game. That's a wrap. You now know how to play Rajas of the Ganges. What are you waiting for? Go on, get out of here, and may the best Raja win.